Moscow, Idaho. A small college town where life moves slowly, where neighbors recognize each other, and where nights are usually quiet enough to hear your own footsteps. The University of Idaho sits at the heart of the town, filled with ambition, youth, and dreams waiting to unfold. Students laugh outside cafes, walk home after late classes, and believe, like many do, that nothing truly bad could happen here. On King Road stands a modest off-campus house. It's known as a place of friendship, music, and weekend gatherings. Inside live for students, each with plans for the future, each unaware that their lives are about to intersect with history in the most tragic way. The night begins like any other. Text messages are sent. Doors open and close. Laughter fades into silence as the hours pass. By the early morning, the town is asleep. Streetlights hum. Snow dusts the ground. What no one knows is that these silent hours will soon become the most analyzed moments in the town's history. By sunrise, Moscow will no longer be known as just a college town. It will become the center of a mystery that shocks the nation. This is not just a story about crime. It is a story about trust, timing, and how quickly normal life can fracture. The morning begins with confusion. Calls go unanswered. Concern turns into panic. A welfare check is requested. When authorities arrive, the unthinkable is discovered. For young lives are gone. The house on King Road is no longer just a home. It is a crime scene. News spreads quickly. Students wake up to messages filled with fear and disbelief. Classes are canceled. Parents call their children repeatedly. A quiet town becomes flooded with sirens, investigators, and media vans. Authorities remain careful with their words. Details are limited. Rumors fill the gaps. Social media ignites with theories, guesses, and accusations. The absence of clear answers only deepens the fear. How could this happen without anyone hearing anything? Was this random or targeted? The lack of forced entry raises chilling questions. Residents begin locking doors earlier. Students stop walking alone. Trust dissolves into anxiety. For the families of the victims, time stops completely. Grief settles in waves, mixed with unanswered questions and public attention they never asked for. This is the moment where tragedy transforms into investigation, and where every detail, no matter how small, becomes critical. As the days stretch into weeks, the case escapes the boundaries of Moscow, Idaho, and grips the entire nation. Television screens, podcasts, and YouTube channels replay the same haunting questions over and over again. How did this happen? Who could have done it? And why? True crime communities online begin to analyze every available detail. Floor plans are shared. Timelines are reconstructed. Surveillance videos are slowed down frame by frame. A town that once valued its privacy now finds itself exposed to the world. Every street and shadow under public scrutiny. Authorities continue their work quietly, deliberately, refusing to rush under pressure. Evidence is gathered piece by piece, DNA samples, phone data, vehicle movements. Investigators no one mistake could compromise everything. Meanwhile, speculation runs wild. Innocent people are named, accused, and dissected by strangers who have never met them. The emotional toll on the community is heavy. Students move out. Some transfer schools. Others refuse to sleep alone. Parents arrive unexpectedly just to check on their children. Locks are double-checked. Night walks disappear. Vigils bring the town together. Candles glow against the cold air as names are spoken softly. Tears fall not only for the victims, but for the sense of safety that vanished with them. This phase of the story is defined by waiting for answers, for justice, for reassurance that fear does not have the final word. The silence finally breaks when authorities announce an arrest. A name enters the public conversation: Brian Kohberger. The shock is immediate. He is not a stranger hiding in the shadows, but a criminology student. Someone who studied criminal behavior, someone who understood investigations. The revelation unsettles the nation. How does someone who learns about crime become accused of committing one of the most disturbing acts imaginable? His background is examined relentlessly. Past movements, academic interests, and personal habits are suddenly national talking points. Images emerge showing him going about ordinary activities hours after the crime. Shopping, blending into everyday life. The contrast is chilling. The idea that something so violent could exist beside something so normal leaves viewers deeply uncomfortable. Public reaction fractures into arguments. Some believe the evidence is overwhelming. Others urge caution, reminding everyone of the importance of due process. The case becomes more than a tragedy. It becomes a mirror reflecting society's fears, biases, and hunger for answers. For the families of the victims, this moment offers no relief. An arrest does not erase loss. It only shifts the pain into a new phase. One filled with courtrooms, hearings, and reliving the worst moments repeatedly. This is the turning point of the story, where mystery becomes confrontation and questions demand accountability. With legal proceedings underway, the focus turns inward, toward evidence, timelines, and forensic detail. DNA analysis, cell phone records, and surveillance footage become central to the case. Each element is scrutinized, debated, and challenged. The prosecution lays out a methodical narrative, emphasizing patterns and movements. The defense responds with skepticism, questioning procedures and interpretations. The courtroom becomes a battlefield of facts and doubt, where every sentence carries weight. Outside, media outlets compete for updates. Headlines shift daily.
Online, discussion intensifie.
But inside the courtroom, the atmosphere is restrained, heavy with reality. Families sit quietly, carrying grief that words cannot ease. This stage reminds the public that justice is not instant. It is slow, deliberate, and often painful. It requires patience and respect for process, qualities often lost in the rush of public opinion. The investigation is no longer just about solving a crime. It is about proving truth beyond doubt, while honoring the lives affected by every decision made along the way. Beyond evidence and headlines lies the deepest reality of all, the human cost. Families wake up each day to a silence that never existed before. Bedrooms remain untouched. Phones stop buzzing. Future plans are frozen in time. Friends struggle with guilt, replaying conversations and wondering if something was missed. Professors remember empty seats in lecture halls. A campus once full of energy now carries an invisible weight. The victims are remembered through stories shared by those who loved them. Their laughter, their kindness, their ambitions. They are no longer statistics. They are lives that matter deeply. The town itself begins to heal slowly, though scars remain. Memorials fade, but memories do not. Safety measures increase. Conversations change. The sense of innocence once taken for granted is gone. This is the aftermath rarely captured on camera. The quiet endurance of grief, the strength required just to keep moving forward. As the case continues through the justice system, its impact stretches far beyond Moscow, Idaho. It becomes a lesson written in silence, a reminder of how fragile everyday life truly is. This story forces difficult reflections about awareness, about trust, about the responsibility communities share in protecting one another. It challenges assumptions about who we think is capable of harm and how easily danger can hide behind routine. Justice may take time, but remembrance does not fade. The victims live on in conversations, in changed habits, and in the resolve to do better as a society. This is not just a true crime story. It is a warning, a memorial, and a call for empathy. A reminder that behind every headline are real people whose lives mattered, and still do. The night may have been silent, but its echo will never disappear.